and pneumonia and a boogie woogie flu. Monster loving, baby, that ain't all. I wanna kiss her, but the gal's too tall. Young man, rhythm got a hold of me too. I got a
Movies.
Movies.
It's movies.
It's definitely movies.
It's always movies.
Yes, every time.
Your friend in thick and thin, sickness and health.
Whoa.
Do you take these movies
Are you married to these movies?
to help you get through your life? That's the question.
Oh, okay. All right.
If anyone knows of any reason, a fault or impediment, why these
Whoa.
two should not be joined together, you and movies, let them speak now or forever hold their peace.
I'm listening.
Everybody, have you ever been to a wedding? Ever been to a wedding?
Uh-huh.
Where, and that's part of the ceremony.
Right.
I think they've taken that out for the most part, though, right?
I don't
But
know
it's
if
still
they have.
there.
Yeah.
And then the bride and groom both swivel around. I can't do it because I got a mic, but
Yeah.
turn around and look back.
Right.
Okay, fine. Turn back. Right?
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of, like, weddings of show people, you know, like
Yeah.
actors
Dramatic
and stuff.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dramatic. Yeah, expressive people. Nobody's ever done that.
No. I've
But in
never
every
been to
film,
one.
it's
yes,
done.
of course.
It's like Chekhov's objection. The priest says it. That's why they took it out. The priest says it.
Uh-huh.
I feel compelled to say something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right? You have to, like, bite your tongue. You just want to yell, you know, something ridiculous, you know? Like,
Grimm's an alcoholic.
yeah, right.
I'm
Exactly.
sorry.
Whew. Sorry.
Just
I've got
I was
Tourette's.
just to wait for you guys to turn around.
Yeah.
We're just seating right now, so. Gosh, we did it again.
Did we? How did we do it again?
Watch some more movies.
Oh, well, yes, of course.
It's the only thing there is to do.
Yes, I know. We got to fill the time somehow.
For now.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
A little bit punchy.
A little bit.
Mika's excited.
Am I?
She's excited to talk about her pick for today.
Oh, okay.
We watched a really good movie today, an all-time classic, inarguably one of the best movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
And we watched Cabaret, too. And so I thought we would just give
See what you did there.
one movie, ironically, Room to Breathe, and probably talk about Cabaret first.
Oh, really? Okay.
We'll do my pick.
All right. Let's switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, you're liberated.
Fine.
You
Let's do this.
you jimmied the lock on your cage. So, yeah, let's talk about... You ever seen Cabaret?
No, my first time.
Me
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Speaking of show people, like a lifetime of being familiar with the play, with the songs, with the story. I just never have sat down and watched
know.
Bob Fosse's 1972 film, Cabaret.
And I went through this huge stint when I was a kid of just going through and watching musical after musical after musical. Like, you know, anything I get my hands on. I don't know if maybe it was too racy, but I don't think I ever reached for Cabaret. I don't think I ever went there, and I don't know why.
Might have been too racy.
Well, and we can talk about that. Like maybe at the
talking
time.
about right now.
Yeah, maybe at the time it was. So
I'd heard, I don't know if this is true, and I don't know if they keep documentation of this, but I'd heard that it had gotten an X when it was officially submitted to the MPAA, which Eternal Punching Bag on this show and on this network talked about that before. Having seen it, what?
yeah, I know, right?
What?
I know.
When did Bonnie and Clyde was like 67? When was Bonnie and Clyde?
Oh, that's
Around that time.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think so.
And it was, and I mean, that was like probably worse than that, right? In the first like 30 seconds.
Yeah. There's a lot of violence in that film.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we can just stop and talk about that if you want.
No. That's another show.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll take care of it then.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, Cabaret, a young British writer moves to pre-World War II Weimar Republic Berlin. He's working on his PhD, but he's also just you get the idea that
he's teaching English.
Yeah, he's teaching English for money, but he doesn't really have to be here. He's here to to sample the nightlife and to, get like
some culture.
Yeah, it's like Moulin Rouge, when Ian McGregor's character moves to Paris because that's where the artists are. It's that sort of thing. And he moves into a boarding house. He meets a woman named Sally Bowles, who's an American, who is a cabaret singer and works at the Kit Kat Club.
Yes.
The titular cabaret. Mm-hmm. And it's a story of them sort of falling in and out of love and dealing with the politics of pre-war Germany.
Yeah.
And also just the changing sort of nature of their lives and relationships in the early 20th century, and the decadence of pre-war Berlin and the decline of pre-war Berlin.
Right.
And money.
Yes.
And Joel Grey.
Yes.
And a hot orchestra.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's it.
That's it. Cabaret. The end.
Yeah.
I thought it was very entertaining.
I've never seen the stage show.
No, I haven't.
And I wish I had
either. Right.
But the stage show, I bet the stage show has changed quite a lot because they changed the stage show quite a lot to do this. Mm-hmm. And long story short, Bob Fosse directed it.
Yes.
He had previously directed a movie version of Sweet Charity in the late 60s, which was a huge bomb. And so it was tough for him to get this. Now you look back, and what do you think of when you think of Cabaret? You think of
directed by Bob Fosse,
somebody in a bowler hat dancing on a chair, right? You just think about Fosse.
Sure. Yeah.
But it was hard for him to get this, and I think when he did get it, he Fossey'd the hell out of it, obviously. But also he wanted it to be a film as well as a musical.
Yeah, sure.
And so we weren't going to do the thing where people are walking around and talking and then suddenly they break into song, which you have in the original version of Cabaret. The stage show, it was all going to be diegetic.
Yes.
So all the music is in the club.
Right.
And it comments on what's going on.
Yes.
One man, two ladies.
Yes, exactly.
It comments on it, but it's all, the music is all in the club except for the Nazi song at the Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Which is very jarring. And
it is.
And so
it's
I bet
scary.
if you go and see, if you saw Sam Mendes' version or you just go and see it now, they've probably worked a lot of that back into the show, right? Because it's almost like...
Probably.
Yeah, because like Fosse, going on and doing things, like Chicago, for instance, that's all, it's all told in song, basically. I mean, it's, there is no outside at all. He's like totally merged the two. The storytelling is through the song. So,
right.
What's my point? I don't know what my point is. My point is that I think the acting parts are kind of boring. I think the music is amazing. I wish that the entire movie, I kind of wanted it to be, not having seen it before, I always pictured it as a Chicago-esque kind of thing where everybody's on stage all the time and then they tell the story that way.
Minimalistic, that sort of thing.
Yeah, which it's not.
No.
We leave, and Michael York, who I love to death, but is pretty flat in this movie. There's not a lot for him to do.
Right. But that's what the character he's given in the...
right. And then, and then Liza Minnelli is like, well, aren't I so crazy? Look at how crazy I am, Brian. And, and then that for 90 minutes and an abortion, and then it's over. Like, it's just...
I know.
And you're kind of like, get back to the club. Sing the Money Money song.
Well, I liked it. I was... I don't know.
And not having seen it, sorry, one sec. And not having seen it, and knowing what a talent Liza Minnelli is, winning the Academy Award, her face is on the poster, the Louise Brooks haircut, the Lego helmet hair, the whole thing. Yeah. You'd think this is going to be wall to wall, her shaking it and singing on stage, and it's not.
No,
for the star of the Cabaret. She must take like a huge leave of absence because she's on like 4 numbers maybe.
Yeah, no, that's correct. And then Joel Grey does like all of them, more or less, instead of the one, except for the ones that it's just her. He's in all of them, and he's fantastic in this as well.
I think he won an Oscar. This won 8 Oscars.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's 1972 though, so.
Oh, The Godfather?
Yeah, so it did not win Best Picture or Best Actor. But I mean, unless you put a Joel Grey for Best Actor.
Right.
You know, yeah,
right.
Brando,
it's not going to be Michael York.
Brando
for
took it
that
down.
one. Yeah.
But otherwise, I think it's still the picture to win the most Oscars without winning Best Picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to sweep without sweeping, basically.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, it was critically acclaimed, and it was a huge success for everybody. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, and I do think that the songs stick out. And the dancing is great in it too. There's like this really great. I think it's one of Sally's like first numbers, but like the other dancers are on the stage too, and they all are doing dances with a chair. They're dancing with a chair.
Song. Yeah.
And her moves are separate from their moves, but they're all like super stylized and really cool. And like, you know, the other dancers are like they're on their stomachs on the chairs and they're hitting the stage with their hands and they're doing kicks and it's all timed and they're all doing it together and it's very cool. I mean, do you think, I mean, it's very like, influenced somewhat by Brecht, this German theater movement sort of thing.
Yeah, I think Lotte Lenya was played the owner of the boarding house in the original
really?
stage version. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
a character that is totally cut from the
Yeah.
film.
Right.
There's a whole subplot where I think the movie is a synthesis of the stage show and then the original material, which was the Berlin Diaries of Christopher Isherwood and I Am a Camera, and his work. And in that, in the stage show, there's a subplot where the lady that runs the boarding house is dating like a Jewish man, and the sort of interracial romance is focused there. But they cut that part and everything, and then brought in from the I Am a Camera. The friend who is learning lessons, and then he's
learning the English lessons.
Secretly a Jew, but he's and he's courting the heiress.
Right. Okay.
That's all from the book.
Okay.
Which it's boring.
Is it? Have you read it?
Well, here's the deal. I was in this show. I was in a play based on I Am a Camera. Okay. And I read the book.
Yeah, sure.
And it's like when you think about it's in Cabaret.
Yeah.
It's kind of dry.
Oh, no.
it's not that great.
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't know, maybe for some. And Christopher Isherwood really didn't he thought that they had really kind of perverted, pun not intended, his picture of pre-war Berlin.
Oh, really?
In Cabaret. It's too glitzy. It's too, people were a lot poorer because they talk about there's a lot of talk about money in this movie, and it's like, we're going to get 3 marks for this, marks for this, marks for this. And at this time, Deutsche Marks are worthless. That's the whole problem, right?
I see. Yeah,
so,
that's not really emphasized.
No, that's kind of off. I mean, you could definitely, if you were somebody who was a struggling cabaret singer, you would definitely be looking for a rich guy to land with because of stuff like this. But yeah, it wasn't, he just thinks that they made it too cool and sexy. And it's like, dude, you sold your book for a movie. What?
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the rich guy in this movie,
Max.
I don't think you're supposed to like him that much, but at least in the beginning, I didn't really like him because Sally and Brian were obviously together, and this guy knew that and did not care, and that's what I didn't like about him.
Right.
But I think you said something, I don't know if you want to share it right now or not.
Why don't you steal it?
I don't want to steal it. You said something very poignant about the character of Max and how he affected the other two.
Well, I don't know if this is what's intended. I mean, Max is clearly politically ignorant, but I don't think that that's his focus at all. So,
no.
But he's still got opinions. And throughout the play, we see in the margins and stuffing up the cracks in this edifice, the Nazis. We see the rise of the right, beating people up and all that. And Max, at one point, espouses a opinion that was popular at the time, which was, we don't want communists. These guys hate communists. We're going to let these guys sweep the communists
clean up
out,
the communists, which is
and then we'll
just
suppress the Nazis.
Right.
Which didn't work out.
No.
as we know now, and he looks really dumb, ironically, with hindsight. But no, my idea was that like he comes in and he ruins Brian and Sally's relationship,
Right.
and he does it completely because Brian, as we know, and I don't. I mean, it's easy to say that he's gay. It's shorthand to say that he's gay. I think that falls short for two reasons. One,
Yeah, I do too.
of course, everybody's on a spectrum,
Right.
and two, he doesn't say that he's gay, so we don't know.
Right.
We know that he doesn't know what he wants,
Yes.
and that he's had unsuccessful relationships with women, and so this one is going good. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie doesn't like say, "Oh, he's really
Doesn't
struggling with
overcomplicate
it." And we
or-
do see
yeah.
that he's struggling just in general with the way his life is changing, his being in love ostensibly with this girl that he can't control, and then also, attracted to Max too.
Right.
And so you've got him. He's gay and he's trying to be straight. Once again, I'll go back to the simplified thing.
Uh-huh.
And Sally needs money, and she thinks that she's the most bohemian, like, whatever, it's cool, just
Crazy
do this,
party
do
girl.
that. She's
Yeah.
has screwed a lot of men or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And Max comes in, and he's this rich guy, but he's more bohemian than Sally, and he's more gay than Brian. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he kind of outdoes them both.
Yes.
And totally upsets the fragile sort of thing that they've got going on, and then they've got to go back and be like, well, great, now what?
Right. And then he basically exits the
And then he
movie.
just takes off, and then he's like, no, I'm done with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she finds out later that she's pregnant. And, Brian is like, well, do you know whose it is? And she's like, no. Which, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to, say whenever there's a love triangle in a movie, this happens. But this is, we saw something
Oh, you're
similar in
drawing
Blue
a-
Valentine.
right, you're-
Just saying. Not that, Blue Valentine was like, oh, Cabaret. I don't think so.
Blau Lebens, yeah,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'd like to see somebody compare Blue Valentine to Cabaret.
Yeah, right.
Well, you just did it. So yeah, I mean, it's it's great. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I feel like I would
love
damn it
the
with faint
songs.
praise. Let me give you some weird praise. Let me
Ooh.
corkscrew this into here.
Uh-oh.
And let me finish. But check this out. Remake Cabaret. Now listen to me.
Yes.
Where are you going? Sit down.
Okay.
Clearly, you can't top most of this film.
Yeah.
You can't.
Mm-hmm.
We all know, it's a performance of a lifetime from Liza Minnelli.
And Joel Grey.
And Joel Grey. Yeah, absolutely. And who, held on to this role with both hands.
Yes.
He originated it. He knew he was good at it.
Yes.
He was so good that the producers were basing it sort of around him. They knew they had him. And I think that Fosse didn't, in the way that he wanted to change it, he wanted to change some stuff. Get rid of the way that the MC was usually played, and maybe thinking about doing it himself. And the producers are like, tell you what, you can have Joel Grey, or we get somebody else to do this movie. Yeah. It's like, okay.
Well, Joel Grey it is.
Joel Grey's in.
Yeah.
He knows the part.
Right.
Knows all the lines. This play wants to be, or this movie was definitely edgy for 1972. It wants to be edgy. Everybody remembers it as being edgy, but you watch it, and it's not that edgy.
Right.
They got away with just about everything they could in 1972, to the
Right.
point where one of the big blow-ups between Brian and Sally is that Brian slept with Max too.
Yes.
And I'm not saying we need to see that explicitly, but
No.
it is almost you kind of have to
pull that
just
out.
get that through osmosis because they can't say anything about it.
It's heavily implied,
And it's
but
also
not stated at all.
and also we're supposed to see Brian gets in a fight with some Nazis, or we see a dead body, or the film closes with us focusing in on the fact that there's more Nazis in the crowd here in the club.
Right.
But I just think that there's so many ways that it goes into, and Isherwood wanted it to be darker. If you did it now,
it would be edgier.
you could do everything that you wanted to do. They've already done this on the stage show is really kind of raunchy now. And I'm not saying raunch is the only thing that you need, but you could give the picture of the dirty jewel of pre-war Berlin. You could do the whole thing.
Yeah.
You could never. I'm not saying put $200 million into it and it's the next Cats and you're going to try to make this the definitive one.
Right.
You just take it in. Okay, there's already a Cabaret. So do something else. In fact, here you go. Don't don't do the musical.
Oh, do a straight movie.
Have songs, but do a dramatic version of it with song. This gets every time I try to explain this, it gets more and more twisted. But like with songs, but have somebody else write new songs or adapt songs that would be
in
cabaret songs of the time.
Sure.
I guess it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's sort of like when you do like Wizard of Oz. Nobody's going to ever remake Wizard of Oz, except we have
different versions.
Tin Man.
Yeah.
Return to Oz.
Yeah.
So give us a Return to Oz cabaret. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Call up Fruza Balk. Give her the haircut.
Whoa, we don't know if she can sing or dance. Yes, she looks kind of Liza Minnelli.
Why does Sally Bowles have to be good? Shouldn't she be like bad? Shouldn't she like not be very good at this?
Oh boy,
isn't that more pathetic? That's part of my thing about how it's Liza Minnelli. I mean, she's amazingly talented and beautiful, and she's like, guys, I never find a guy that's into me or whatever, and I'm working at this horrible club. Work at some different club. Move to America. You're beautiful and talented.
I know.
I'm supposed to believe in the fiction of this show that you're not making it for some reason.
Right. She wants to be an actress. That's her big deal.
Yeah. So anyway.
But she moved to Berlin and she's into the cabaret thing. I don't know.
Berenson? Is that the name of Mariah? Berenson is the count or the heiress. She was Lady Lyndon in Barry Lyndon.
Oh.
Marissa or something like that.
Yeah, I think her name Natalia is in this movie
or the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
She was good. It's 20 minutes or so. Are we good? Anything else to say?
I mean, watch it.
It's my thing. It's like cabaret. I mean, we can just sit here and do the whole show if you want.
Yeah.
But
right.
Yeah, I mean,
watch it.
It's great.
Yeah.
You got to see it.
Yeah, I definitely.
And I can't believe I haven't seen it up till now.
Yes.
But that's what the show's for.
Yes.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, my list.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
What came off the list today?
Well, today we watched Splash. Yes. Ron Howard's Splash. Ron Howard
and Brian Grazer. A drop of water falling into a pond, simulating the synthesis of ideas, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's one of the best movies of all time. It wasn't.
Oh no, Ron Howard.
Yeah. If nothing else, this movie is a fascinating picture of a New York City that does not exist in any way anymore.
Well, that's true.
There's a part where they come out of Bloomingdale's and they walk into Times Square, and she's just kind of like, "What's that? What's that?" It's like, well, it's not an M&M store.
Yeah, right.
And it's not a Fox News video LCD billboard.
Right.
It's just sort of like a place where a couple streets meet. And there's porno theaters still, although there's less of them now. And then I thought it was fascinating. There was one sort of regular movie theater, that they see when they're in this pizza place. You see through the window.
Right,
and they're playing Evil Dead and Extro.
Whoa, I don't even know what Extro is.
And you never will. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But yeah, New York does not exist anymore. And even as they're heading for the docks or going the Bowery or whatever, as they're going down the with street or whatever it is, Jefferson. I don't know New York all that well. Already there's empty lot full of debris. Like they have been knocking down all the buildings along the waterfront because those are all going to be things now. So
right,
and they are now.
Right, yeah, right.
Splash. What happens?
Basically, Tom Hanks goes to Cape Cod.
Scene one.
Okay, all right.
It's all sepia tone.
Tom Hanks falls in love with a mermaid.
Yeah, okay.
Splash.
All right, yeah. Okay, well, you can do it. All right, somewhere in between those two is where we want to hit it. And John Candy's in it.
And John Candy plays his brother.
Because I don't think John Candy could quite hold his own movie yet, but it was coming. It was coming very soon.
Yeah, he plays his screw-up older brother.
Right.
And
who's definitely going to jail for the rest of his life.
Right?
I hope you get Penthouse in Leavenworth. Buddy.
Yeah, I know, right? What's going to happen to their business? Oh boy. Did not even think about
None
that.
of that matters. That's the best part.
Yeah. So they run and operate a produce business.
Oh no, we are going back to it.
I don't know. So okay, basically when Tom Hanks' character Alan was a kid, he
No, now we're going back again.
Oh, is it too much? I don't know what's too much and
Who
not
doesn't
enough.
know what happens in Splash?
Okay, all right. You told me to go back. You told me to do more.
No, I jokingly.
Okay. I can't tell when you're joking sometimes. So.
Well, we've only been doing this for like 7 years. No, he's a New York. New York. He lives in New York, but he loves the sea.
Yeah.
And then a lady walks out of the ocean, finds him, and they
hit his
immediately
head. Yeah.
have sex.
I know, right?
There are no conflict in this movie whatsoever. The
Not
conflict
really.
comes in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's she finds him right away.
Yes.
They have sex many times right away.
Yep.
She learns English immediately.
From TV.
He's like, I don't know if I could ever tell a woman I love her. I love you.
Yes.
Let's get married.
Yep.
Eugene Levy captures her. I feel bad. Here you go.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
It's a Splash. A history of things going fine.
Well, she's all worried about telling him her big secret that she's a mermaid, but yeah.
Which we don't even think about the implications that all come in at the last 2 minutes of the movie.
I know.
Which is, if a fish and a bird fell in love, where would they live?
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, no, if I have magic powers, if you come with me, you'll be
and
fine.
I kiss you,
You can
you'll be
swim and breathe
fine.
underwater.
Yeah.
And it's like, Del Toro, you son of a bitch. This movie is like The Fifth Element meets The Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Shove that up your blowhole.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Who is this beautiful girl? She talks in nonsense. Oh,
Yeah.
she found the internet. Now she can talk.
Yeah.
And then they'll never understand our love. And
Yeah.
are you doing a fish?
Yep.
And then the human can breathe underwater at the end.
Yeah, I know.
You people and your love for that stupid movie. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Splash.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. What do you got? Tom Hanks didn't pee in this one.
No. You're right.
Although he did,
maybe that does not come
He did his
later.
other famous thing, which was that he did a restaurant bit.
He did do a restaurant bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's what switch that with the Sally bit.
Yeah.
And then she eats the lobster and what she's having.
Right. Exactly.
There's a I can't remember who, so no plug, but there's a guy that does media analysis on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Which if I had another hand and 18 more hours in the day, I'd totally want to do. Mm-hmm. And he talks about how Check Please is not even. It's gone past joke. It's gone past tire joke, past meme, and somewhere into like cultural artifact. It doesn't even mean anything anymore.
Right.
When somebody does something or whatever,
And then somebody says, "Check, please."
yeah, or like, or you should put it into classic films. That's the next step, So Michael comes out of the bathroom, right? Kills Sollozzo, kills the cop.
Right.
Check, please. Yeah, right. It just doesn't even mean anything anymore.
No.
But this is 1984, so things still mean things.
Yeah. For sure.
That's something I noticed about the comedy in this film is that, a lot of it's just, it's a crazy situation.
I know.
And that's what comedy is.
Yep.
John Candy, he's doing weird things.
Yep.
Look at him.
I know.
He's got a scarf on.
I know.
And that's comedy.
Like him and Tom Hanks are playing racquetball, and he's like smoking,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "Oh, do you want a beer?" It's like, what? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you have a cooler full of beer at the gym?
Because that's comedy.
Yeah, exactly. And then like Eugene Levy is at the dentist for some reason at one point, and he like grabs the Novocaine or whatever.
Right, but that's stage 4 of a 5-stage plan.
I know.
Because it's not enough to have John Candy. He's also the physical comedy guy.
Yeah.
And so it's I meant to say it was Shape of Water, Fifth Element, and The Roadrunner.
Oh, okay.
Because he keeps trying to, get her wet or whatever.
Yes,
So
to
her
prove
fish tail will come out.
that she's a mermaid.
And then he accumulates injuries as he goes.
Yes.
And then it culminates in him falling into an open street elevator, which,
Yes.
again, this is just in New York City that does not exist anymore.
I mean, it's entertaining, it's fun, but you're right, there's really not any conflict. And, like, she tells him, you know, if you decide to come with me and I give you the magical kiss or whatever, you can never come back. So bye-bye your brother who's in jail forever. You can never, ever see him again. And, like, at first he's like, oh, I'm not going to do it. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to do it.
Right. And now we're in water, so downside, how are we going to have sex? We were enjoying all that Daryl Hannah sex, now what?
Right.
Upside, Atlantis. Oh, did I bury the lead? 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Yeah, we don't even know that that's a thing
Suddenly it's
until
just like,
the end of the movie.
Also there is an
Also
magical undersea kingdom
Atlantis.
with singing crabs.
Yeah, and has anybody given the magical kiss to a human before? Is he going to be the only human in
Splash
this?
2.
Oh, boy, there you go.
Couple things. One, I'll never forgive my cousin for lying to me and saying that they were going to make a Splash 2 where they search for sunken treasure.
Oh my gosh!
I've never forgiven him.
No!
I think about that to this day.
Oh, wow.
How good that would be. And number 2, there is a Splash 2. It was an ABC movie, TV movie.
No.
Starring Amy Yazbek as Madison and somebody as Alan. And it's all about how he misses his life in New York, you know, and he misses Charlie or whatever John Goodman's character's name is.
Yeah.
And
John Candy.
Yeah. Whoops. Now that would have been something else. You know, him doing the Swedish bits. And,
Yeah, right.
They printed my penthouse letter. And you know, and it's just like he learns to, I don't know, appreciate the sea and the land, or I don't know. It just I never saw it.
Right. Well, it sounds
speaking
silly.
of John Candy, there's a thing in this that is John Candy's bit more than anything else, more than him going,
Okay.
you know, doing that like laugh where he's like,
Yeah, right.
A big part of it's visual, so the people at home are missing it. But
Yeah.
but also the thing where at the emotional turning point of the film, he has a serious speech. You know, so it's
Sure.
like, hey, I'm a funny guy, but this is a serious speech.
This is very
It's like,
important.
no, go ahead. Go make fun of me. I can take it. You know, for planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
And in Uncle Buck, there's probably one. I can't think of it right now. Give me the John Candy movie.
Trains, planes.
I just said that one.
Yeah.
In Only the Lonely, John Candy. No, I don't know. But anyway, in this, he's like, oh, yeah, love. That's how it works. Everybody can be loved. Well, that's not how it is for me.
Right.
You don't understand what you've got. It's just for some reason.
Right. The only serious speech.
We've all had fun here, but listen to me. This is important. Suddenly he's like Elvis Costello.
Yeah. Yeah. And it takes Alan going home and seeing the mermaid fountain that she bought using his money, which is just another like
Come on, Ron Howard.
silly sight gag, but you know.
There's a pump. Where's the pump?
I know. How is it hooked up to his?
And there's like 12 lights on it.
I
So like, does that
know.
just come out of the building's grid?
I
It doesn't
don't
make any
know.
sense.
It does not make any sense.
Out of the various fish out of water films,
Yes.
and boy, how much coke were Grazer and Howard doing?
I
when
know.
Somebody said fish out of water, and they're like, hold on, wait. But out of the various fish out of water films, how does this do? How does this stack up?
Whoa.
Like when they're like ABC, NBC, the BBC, the AP, and Mrs. Paul's
I know.
called for you.
I know.
I think Gordon Fisherman would be a good one too.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I think it's pretty good. I think I like a Little Mermaid a little bit more, but like the Disney
You're putting
one.
them in the same. I'm not just saying literal mermaid movies.
I know you're saying like fish out of water type stories.
Yeah, like My Stepmother's an Alien or Coneheads. They don't all have to have Dan Aykroyd in them. You know, like just having like wow, she's gonna. Because to me, I know this is '84. Well, this didn't kill that kind of movie. There are a lot of, in fact, this probably
for
inspired
sure.
a lot of these movies. There are a lot of movies like this. But even in '84, I think that bit had been done.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like, and I don't even know who the screenwriter is. It could be somebody, I don't want to look it up. I don't care. But it could be somebody famous or talented. But I almost feel like the movie's like, nobody really cares about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Because they blow through so much of it.
They do.
But they
like
do it
her,
to,
like,
do it to
learning how
go
talk.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, the movie is, how long is it? I'm going to look up how long it is.
I think it's just under 2 hours.
Okay, well, it feels really long.
Does it?
I think it probably could have been shorter because they get through all this stuff thinking, okay, because there's better stuff to come. There's going to be wild misapprehensions and goofy antics, and no,
there isn't really. I mean, she eats a lobster's like shell.
Yeah, and they do 20 things that they should be arrested for, and it just kind of keeps going. And I feel like they strip all that stuff away because, okay, this is all we have left. Is she going to tell him or not?
Right.
And that becomes the active conflict in the last 15 minutes of the film. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't really matter because he's like, this is Daryl Hannah. Of course I'm going to go out with her. Are you crazy?
Right.
Let's keep her dry a lot of the time. Big deal. Wait, do we have to address the Disney Plus controversy?
Oh, yeah. So I think the film was originally rated PG.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a comedy from the 80s.
Yep.
Ron Howard.
Yep.
And nobody thought anything. I mean, there's boobs and ass in a comedy. It just happens. Like nobody thought anything about that.
No.
And now it's on Disney Plus, and I've seen clips on YouTube. I haven't seen everything, but they've tried to censor some of it. Like there's a scene where
her butt, basically.
Yeah, she's at the Statue of Liberty and her butt's there, but her butt and boobs are all over this thing. Like they got their work cut out for them, right?
Well, yeah, and I guess like they actually made her hair longer in the Disney Plus version, and then like they like CGI'd it out somehow, like made it all like smooth or something like that. Like it doesn't look like there's butt cheeks there or something like that.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, it's not
just silly.
No, and nobody would think there's like a swimming clause, I think. Because remember, nothing was HD back then, so you're just going to lose a lot of detail. But there's a swimming clause. James Bond figured this one out a while ago. There's always, like, ladies swimming underwater, with no shirts on or whatever. And, it's no big deal. Because it's like, well, you can't see anything. And it's like, well, I got a pause button, and I'm 10. And I know you can.
Oh my goodness!
But nobody cared.
No.
But now Disney Plus is just like the most powerful entertainment company in the world.
I know.
And they can just do whatever. People got so mad when Steven Spielberg took the guns and made them into walkie-talkies in E.T.
Yes.
And like this is just happening. People are like, yeah. Complacency is going to kill us all.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I think it's silly.
Hey,
and
listen.
You said,
oh, we have a good time and we joke, but listen to me.
Yes.
This is serious.
Well, I think you were saying about it, like, just don't put it on your service if you have an issue with it. Like, why are you changing things?
Because they own it, and and they've always owned it. It's Touchstone. They've owned it. That's why he sings Zippity Doo-Dah for an hour in the film.
I know.
Anything else? Sexual politics?
Oh boy.
It's not like if you made this now, and I'm not making fun, I mean, maybe it's a good idea, but if you made this now, he would be the CEO of a company, she would show up at his work, and he'd be like, oh, she's my partner, she's my partner. Wait, do you even tell us there's foreign investors? And then she becomes, the head of the company. It's a company that makes digital gewgaws or something like that, and she's like, well, maybe we should do this. I guess that's kind of big.
Yeah.
Right? But instead, she's just like, hey, you're naked. Everybody loves taking pictures with a naked lady.
Yeah.
And then you can be naked in New York, can't you? Probably not the whole thing.
Probably not.
And then she sees Bloomingdale's, and so she goes and she's got his credit cards, and she just goes shopping for most of the movie.
I know, and he's
politically,
he never,
from
like,
a sexual perspective.
Yeah.
Not great?
No,
or fun?
not great. And she never gets in trouble for using his credit card. He's never like, you shouldn't do that, or
he runs a semi-major produce distribution company. I think he's doing okay.
I guess. I guess he's making the big bucks.
Making the big bucks?
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
He's making the big bucks.
Yeah.
It's a spicy fish ball.
Okay. I would have liked to have seen more crazy antics, you know, and like more of her like not understanding things. Like there was like a bit like really early on in the movie, which is like was predictable. I knew it was going to happen, but there's a revolving door in his building, and she goes all the way around. You know,
Yeah, I saw that in a Star Trek episode recently, so it's not that great of a bit.
No, I know.
Or it's just something in the middle where I know they go ice skating,
Yeah.
and they make a big deal out of how it's cold. But when I was 5 or 6 years old, I was in a play that had a ice rink, and you couldn't put ice on stage. Mm-hmm. So you got this polymer, this plastic called glice, and it's just basically like a soft, plastic.
Sure.
You spray it down with silicone or something like that, and you just skate on it.
It looks like ice.
I mean, it's just white plastic. It's cloudy
Right.
plastic.
Yeah.
So that's clearly what it was. But whatever. Just instead of that, like they go. I guess you wouldn't go to a public pool on a date, but they go to
she can't get wet.
They go to but not chlorine for fresh water is fine, right?
Yeah, I
In fact, you
guess.
could even do a thing with that. They go to a pool, a kid's drowning, and she jumps in and tries to save the kid. Right? So either they have to, her tail comes out and they have to like hide it or something, or it doesn't come out and she finds out that she's not such a great swimmer in human form, and then he's got to go in after her, but of course he can't swim. And then they're all sitting, on the end of the ambulance with towels around them later. And
Yeah.
Or just like you just think there'd be. This is what you're saying. You think there'd be more bits.
Yeah, or why not go to like an aquarium? And she's like, "Why are they in tanks?
I'm
Why
sure there's
can't
probably
they-"
a deleted scene.
Yeah.
Of that.
All right.
But what did they cut out of this movie?
Yeah, I know.
All right. What a splash.
What a splash! I think it's fun. It's not.
You don't have to justify your choice.
I know.
I tried to remake Cabaret about a half an hour ago.
I know you did. So yeah. I think it's fun. I think it's a watch, but that's
like
me.
Now, if they'd walked on the ocean, that would have been something.
Whoa. Definitely.
They didn't. Well, I think that's it for us this week. This week.
This
It's in
this
8 more
episode.
weeks, so we're going to be coming back sooner than you want us to with something else. Did I say that fact that that I had this isn't Hollywood, but I picked a film about performers?
Yes, you did.
I did it again.
So next time, you got to make
Air Bud.
Whoa.
Okay. Hey, wait. Careful. Check yourself before you end up watching Air Bud yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe not that.
Yeah, maybe not that one. Maybe choose something else.
All right. Well, you're free now. I'm releasing you from your prison. You can go back to whatever you were
thank
doing.
Goodness. Wow.
That's it for us. We'll be back with another COVideos probably sooner than you think. And until then, we are signing off. Keep watching movies. Keep washing hands.
Yep.
Keep being well.